Hello, everyone, and welcome to goclasses. Hope you are preparing well for GATE. So I'm Pragati. I have graduated in 2025, and post that I was preparing for GATE and for GATE CS, and my rank in GATE CS was 285. And now I'm joining IISc Bangalore MTech in Computer Science. So yes, you all can whatever doubt you have or anything you want to discuss regarding your preparation or anything around it, you can go ahead and share that with me. You could raise your hand and I'll unmute one after the other. Okay. Abhyanshu, would you like to unmute yourself? I can't hear you, Abhyanshu, if you're speaking something. Okay, meanwhile, does anyone else want to go? You could raise your hands. I would request that if you all have a question or you want to share something, then please raise your hand, or or otherwise you could just leave the session. So I would know, right, whether you want to discuss something or not, and accordingly I will end the session. So if you all uh want to discuss something, I'd suggest only then stay in the session, right? Okay. Abhyanshu, you can uh try unmuting yourself now. Abhyanshu, I can still not hear you. If you want, if your mic is not working or there is some access issue, you could put your question in the chat in that case. Okay, so there is one question. How to approach aptitude questions? Should we just solve CS PYQs or should we need to solve all branches PYQs? I would suggest that only CS PYQs would be enough because there are a lot of them. So for sure, just go with CS PYQs because later on, right, because you have plenty of other subjects as well. So if you just cover the CS PYQs and later when you will be giving the full length mock test, there you will be getting 15 tests in each of the 15. Even if I talk about the free AIMTs that happen on Go classes, even the aptitude questions of those tests are of good level. Maybe of the same level or slightly harder than GATE. So for sure, that would be a good practice as well. So all the PYQs of computer science along with those questions you will be getting in the mock full length mock test, that would be enough
Hello.
for you.
Hello.
Just a second, Abhiyanshu. Just a second. You're audible, but just a second. So, the question which was regarding aptitude questions, I hope that answers. I don't think there's a need to solve all branch questions, right? If you feel like there are certain type of questions when you will be solving, the CS PYQs, and you feel that there are a certain questions that you are, mostly not able to solve, I would say for, there are fixed patterns, and when you solve multiple of those, you will get a gist of solving them. But in case you're not able to, then I would say that go and study the topic related to that, aptitude. Like suppose if it's a numerical based on some formula, and you see that you're not able to solve a lot of questions on that topic, then just go on the internet. I would just say that search there in depth. You will find multiple sites where you could study that, or if that topic is covered in your course, you could do that. But mostly PYQs for just computer science, and then the ones in full length mock test would be enough. You won't need to solve questions of other branches. Also because even in just CS there are a lot of them, so that would be enough. Okay. Yes, Abhyanshu, you could ask your question. Wait.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Actually, ma'am, actually, I am facing problem in solving PYQs and other questions after completing the subject.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Abhyanshu.
I'm facing problem in solving PYQs, not able to build that level of confidence.
Okay. So, are you attempting the PYQs after you have completed a subject, like when you have watched all the lectures?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I completed C programming and DBMS.
Okay. So these two subjects you have completed so far,
Yes, ma'am.
like all the PYQs also, or just the like modules you mean?
No, we made modules.
Okay. And you have started the PYQs of both, and you are finding difficulty in both of them? Like
No,
how
only in
long
C,
have you been trying to solve the PYQs?
only in C programming. DBMS, I am able to solve DBMS.
Okay. And C programming, how long have you been solving questions?
Uh, Near about one.
Like, did you start 2 to 3 days back, a week back?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Just near.
Near about what? Like 1 week or a few days or a month?
I completed C programming before 1 week and started solving near about 2 to 3 days ago.
Okay, see, so if firstly, if for example for DBMS, if you're in one subject is clear, right, you're able to solve questions. Now coming to C, I would say, see, PYQs, ideally you should be able to solve about 70% of the questions on your own. But since you're just starting solving the PYQs, so it will take some time to build up. I think there are like more than 120 questions in C programming alone. And also the when you I remember that in C program, it's not just that when we study the subject, it's slightly different because it's the programs are coming in. We understand how loops work, how statements work, and everything. But there are certain questions which require a very, like, maybe theoretical sort of concept, or in C programming also it's different than what we usually do in DSA, and just understanding the program. So if you have just started now, I would say it's completely normal if you're not able to solve the PYQs on your own in first go. That's for sure, that's normal. When I also started, I felt that I was very confident on C and DSA. So I jumped straight to the PYQs without watching lectures. But for DSA, I was able to solve. But in C programming, I was also not able to solve a lot of them. So one suggestion I would say, that since you have, completed the entire C programming, then you should be having like all the 120, 50, whatever questions are there at one place. And then you could, maybe if you what you can do is you can try solving, go through the entire range, because it's that's also not correct. that every if you find a question you're not able to do, you straight up jump to the solution. Instead of that, you could do that, you take the first maybe 3 to 4 pages, and then you try to see how many questions you are able to solve on your own. And for the remaining ones, I would say that since you have just started, it's just been a few days, and it's also one of your first or second subjects. It's so that problem solving capability will build over time. So for now, if you're not able to solve a question, firstly, you take maybe 3 to 4 pages, make a target that in this 1 hour I will be solving PYQs on these 4 pages, right? And then you see how many you are able to solve, because you have to track that also. Don't get demotivated if you want have to look for the solution or take help for majority of the question, because it's just the starting. What you should be doing now is that you look go through the solution or the concept again, and then try to understand the solution. The goal should be that you are able to understand the solution. Whether or not you were able to solve in the first go, that's a different thing, but the overall target is that you should know how to solve all the PYQs. Even if you have to take help, that is okay, because you have just started solving PYQs, right? If this condition happens even when you are doing PYQs and question solving for a month, then it becomes slightly concerning, because then you'll have to revise a lot more. But because you have just started, this is completely normal to happen. And with C programming also, as I said, for DBMS, there are particular things you study and then you straight up apply in questions. But in C programming, a lot of twisting is possible at multiple places, and it is very different than the normal programs we used to write while solving DSA. So it's minute things that we would normally not see, but in the gate CS syllabus it is very theoretical. So that thing is there. But since we have seen all the modules, I would say that maybe you need to go through the notes more. If you're not able to solve questions even after looking at the solution, or if you are able to do only 20 to 30%, if that is the case, then you need to revisit your notes. But if you are able to solve even half of the questions on your own, then that is normal, I would say. If you want to take any benchmark to compare yourself, then I would say that if you are able to solve half the questions, then you're doing good, actually. Just make sure that whatever questions you are not able to solve, you look at the solution or your notes or whatever, and then you try to understand why you were not able to do it. If you understand it easily, then that is good. But if you don't get it even after looking at the solution or the topic, then that means that you didn't maybe understand the lectures properly, and you need to sit through that with more focus. So basically, Abhilanshu, what I want to say is that when you start solving PYQs, it's not that you just completed a subject and now you will do PYQs and you will understand everything. You will have to give that time initially, especially. Even I remember, it's not just with C. Whatever subject you will pick up, DBMS is still on the slight easier notes. Like few topics are easier, I would say. Like in normalization, the concepts are very limited, even in queries. But there are in every subject, even if you have completed the modules, when you just start solving the PYQs for it, initially we need to give more time to solving the questions. We might need to take help maybe by revisiting the lecture notes or by looking at the solution on gate overflow. But because a lot of the PYQs are also tricky. But the goal is that at the end of the day, you should be understanding all the PYQs. That's the whole point of doing that. So there are definitely questions which are new, even after watching the lectures, which you will find tough. Even for some PYQs, you might have to give more than half an hour to just understand the solution. But the thing is that everyone faces that, and you need to give that time to those questions. So instead of worrying about it, don't think. Your goal should be that you should know the solution to all PYQs. So if any such similar question or any similar concept is coming in the exam, then you should be able to crack it very easily. And that is possible only if right now you just don't look at the solution or try to mug it up. Understand every problem, why you're not able to solve it. Right. And when you look at the approach of a solution, just try to think it from scratch, that what was exactly used here and why you could not think of it. That way, try to analyze questions. And it is very normal to not get a lot of PYQs in the first round on your own. Is there anything else I can help you with, Abhyanshu?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So there's one question: is it necessary to solve PYQs before 2005? See, honestly, for most of the questions, because I remember I solved the PYQs from the very beginning. So I remember the first, in some of them, they were a bit subjective questions as well. So I found that it's not relevant to, the pattern of gate exam that we get now. So your focus should be solving the recent PYQs for sure. But if you get the time, then of course, because the numbers are also not that many, so it's no harm solving the questions, because a few of them I know, I remember that they were really good, even though they were subjective. But in terms of understanding, or I remember that even the concepts or the type of questions being asked, so those concepts are not asked anymore. There are a few questions like that also. So I would say it's not as necessary compared to the recent PYQs of last 10 years, I would say. But if you get the time, then of course, because few questions could be good also in terms of the concept you will get from that. So target solving the recent like last 10, 15 years PYQs, and then if you get the time, you could go before that. PYQs from which year? I don't like exactly remember, but there were questions like before 2005 as well, 2004, 3, 2. I am not sure if it was like 1998 also, but the resource I had, it had like from the very beginning. So I solved all the questions, and I definitely felt that the questions which were before like 2005, those were not like as relevant. Like a few questions were not relevant, but a few questions were good also. So but anyways, if you want to prioritize, which you should, because there are only a few months left, about 6 months or 7 months, whatever. So in that sense, you should be solving at least the last 10 to at least the last 15 years PYQs you should be solving. And then based on how much time you have left, you could go before that. Okay, so again, could you, another question from the chat is, could you please tell the best way for revision? For example, if I have started a subject today and it continues for few days, as days are passing on, I should revise only the yesterday's class, or I should revise it from starting of the subject daily? Okay, just a second. Okay, so see, for revision, you should be revising almost every other day, like every day. So if you, whatever lectures you're watching today, just, when you are done with the lectures, just, go through the notes, not in the sense like every line you're reading, but just, try to just talk to yourself in the sense, just think, sit and think that, okay, these are the topics I studied today, and these were the concepts there. So whatever you're studying today, it would take like hardly 10 minutes, because you've just studied. When you close that subject, just do this, just what topics you studied and what you learned, like the major things. If there was any formula or any concept, then you do that. Then over the days, you don't need to start revising from scratch every day. Pick that flow for the subject, like whatever you are studying. If suppose in DBMS, you are doing normalization, right? So you are revising daily also. Then once normalization is complete, and maybe you're starting with transaction control topic, then you, if you want, you could revise normalization once, and then you go to transaction control. Then once you finish that and start SQL, then you could revise the two topics you have done earlier. But you also need to make sure that instead, apart from the subject that you're studying right now, you also have to revise the subjects which you have completed earlier. So if you have completed computer network and operating system earlier, then firstly you solve the PYQs of these two subjects. And when you're solving the PYQs or questions, whatever questions you're not able to do on your own, or you had to refer to the solution, or you find tricky, just mark that question. So now when you'll have to revise these two subjects again, you go through you could revise it with the questions, right? And apart from that, you have to revise the long notes also at least two times, because it's very lengthy, right? There is a lot of theoretical concepts as well. And as per revising these things, see, for the current subject, I told that revise only at the end of topic daily. I don't think there's a need to revise from scratch. And that is because you have a lot of things to revise from, the syllabus that you have covered as well. So for that, there is no fixed thing. Any random day you could sit and revise any subject that you have done earlier, because you anyways have to. Your target should be that if you're completing a syllabus by October, then you should have revised the entire long notes and solved all, like you should have revised the entire long notes at least 2 times, and you have solved the PYQs as well. That should be your goal. Now with that, you have to revise every day, and you have to revise the current subject, as well as revise the subjects which you have done earlier. So everything you need to revise. Okay. Are 6 months sufficient for good rank? Then just a second. Okay. So are 6 months sufficient for a good rank? Yes, it is sufficient, but there are a lot of conditions that come with it, right? Like there are people who prepare, like I prepared in 7 months approx, but that was because I was already from BTech CS background, I would say. So that helped me a lot because I was at least familiar with the terminologies. I knew the terms, at least the subjects, right? Something I knew. So, and even with 6 months, we all have heard stories of people from different branches who also crack gate in a few months. So it's not exactly about the time. It depends on how consistent you are and how much effort you give. With just 6 months remaining, if you're like just starting, then I would say you'll have to give a lot of efforts, because anyways you have to complete your syllabus by November. So that being said, if you have to give like 12 hours a day or 14 hours like 14 is too much, but yeah, 10 to 12 hours a day you'll have to give every day. And only if you are really determined to give the exam and you are serious about it, because in that case it won't matter how many hours you are giving. You won't get scared that, oh, I have to study 10 hours a day. Like you will stop looking at the clock basically. So if you are able to get yourself in that routine, then 6 months is definitely sufficient for a good rank. And the best time to start aptitude is also dependent on you, in the sense that if your general knowledge is good, because in CS aptitudes, the questions are very, like I would say, basic aptitude only mostly. I remember the aptitude of DA this time was really hard, but I would say that if you're practicing all PYQs, and along with it, later on you will be getting 15 questions each in every mock test. So that also you will be solving. So with mock test, so your aptitude test will start in those full length mock test only. Before that, if you need to judge how much time you need to give to aptitude, then you could solve the PYQ. So if you're preparing for CS, maybe you could maybe today only, after the session, you'd see how many questions you are able to solve. You could either do it, you could pick up the aptitude questions, PYQs, or you could see the aptitude section of the last 3 4 years, you could see, right? So if there are two shifts, you can go through the aptitude of all 8 papers tonight, 15 questions. And aptitude, it won't take you much longer, and even if you're looking at the solution, it won't take you much longer. So I would say go through the last 4 to 5 years, all shift papers of aptitude, and see what you think about it. If you feel that you understand it, or it is okay for you, it's not that hard, and it's basic aptitude for you, then maybe once or twice a week you could solve 20 to 25 questions, like on both the days, for aptitude. And major practice will happen when you start giving the full end mock test. But if you look at the PYQs and you find that it's tough, then you could watch the lectures for aptitude. So for aptitude, it would depend, I would say. For me, when I started, I didn't see any lectures for aptitude, because again, when I was preparing for placements, I feel like I studied particular, like there are time and calendar and multiple type of aptitude question when it comes to preparing for companies, and the level of gate is way easier than that. You don't need to remember any calendar or any such formulas for most of the questions. So the best way is that you go through the past five. If you want to, today after the session, you could go, I would say it's enough time to go through the past 5 year aptitude questions tonight, and then you could decide for yourself. Okay, should I revise first, then give weekly quiz, or doing PYQ for my completed subject? So first you have to do all of that, right? PYQ, then revision and weekly quiz, everything you need to do. For now, the priority could be completing the PYQs for the completed subjects, because PYQs you anyways have to complete. And it's the best if you could do it on time, which is by October or November, because then when you start solving questions, like the when you start solving the test series. And just a second, Shubham, I'll take your question after this. Okay, so later on, when you start with the test series, be it subject wise test or topic wise test or the full length mock test, so your entire 3 months, like almost entire November, December, January, will go in that along with the division of your notes. So you won't get as much time for PYQs. And if you don't complete the PYQs now, then later on you won't be able to do these questions, which are also equally important as watching the modules are. So for now, focus on completing the PYQs. You should be targeting on completing the PYQs by October or November maximum, right? So that should be your target, and revision will happen parallelly. Now, weekly quiz, you could do like you are solving PYQs in parallel. You could maybe revise, say, you could revise, maybe the data link layer of a network layer of computer network, or the entire computer network, and give all weekly quizzes of computer network. So, everything you need to do in parallel, okay? So, revision and PYQs are very important. So if so PYQs you're doing, revision also you have to do. So it would be a benefit that if you have whatever topic or subject you have just revised, you go ahead and solve the weekly quiz for that. So that would be nice, I would say. That would work. You have to do things in parallel, right? There's no one thing you have to do. You have to take everything and complete it all together. Okay. Okay, so Shubham, your question is, I'm doing a full time job in a startup. I don't have much time in the weekdays and I took the course yesterday. Please tell me the ideal way for me for the exam. It's my first time preparing for GATE. Okay. So I know how hectic it is to work with a startup mostly, because you could get, like, I think with startups you could get, no such fixed amount of work that you would be getting. Even the time of work is not that fixed, right? Because, like, I don't know how it's for you, but I remember I did an internship in a startup, and I would say, and that was a work from home situation complete. But I would say that the amount of work I had to do there was way less than my full time job I had in an MNC. So startups are definitely very demanding, but I would say that that also is something that you could slightly take positively in terms, I mean, if you have flexibility, like if it is like that for you, that you could, if you have certain deadlines to complete, then you could, do it quickly. Like, you need to increase your productivity and efficiency, so you could do your assigned task as quickly as possible, like before your deadline, I would say. And the remaining time you could utilize for your studies, or if you have an office job, and you make sure everything related to office you get done there itself. So after getting back to your room or your home, you give the rest of the time to studying. I would say it's still not late, but then your ideal routine should be that any time after office, firstly you should not be having, try to not have office work post office hours. And after coming back, whatever time you're getting, you will have to give that to preparing for the gate exam itself. And then on the weekends, your entire day will go in just studying only. Like, you wake up and till the time, till late night, whenever till when you can push yourself to sit and study, till then you will be just sitting and studying only, and then you'll have to compromise on everything else. I won't say it's a compromise actually, because I think this is the best routine. You get into a lot of discipline. So it's not a compromise, but I would say you'll have to get yourself into a habit of removing all the distractions. So another thing that ideal way for you to prepare would be that now that you're starting, your goal should be to complete the syllabus. I would say you could maybe target if mid November, or if you want to complete your syllabus by mid November, then you should target October. So now you have like July, August, September, and October. If you take November, you have 5 months, and then you have 10 subjects. So in that way, you have to complete two subjects every month. So for this month, you should pick two subjects that you will be doing. And I would suggest that take the tougher subjects first. So that would sort of relax you a bit, right? later on. So because you will have that mindset that okay, I have completed the lengthiest subjects first. So I would say you can take like COA maybe, or operating system, any such subject, and apart from like along with it you could take TOC or digital logic, take any such subject. So you have start with two. uh, 3 to 4 days you can study one subject, and when you complete one entire topic, like don't stop mid topic, because then when you pick it up after 2 to 3 days, then you won't, you might have to revise everything from scratch first. So only once you complete one topic of that subject, and you feel like you're getting bored with it, then for the next 3 4 days you start the other subject. So do two subjects in parallel, so you get done with two together in this month. Now in August, when again you have to set a target that you have to complete these two subjects. Now when you will be watching the next two subject, the modules for those, then along with it you start doing the PYQs of the subjects that you did in July. So this way you have to complete your entire subject by October. So by October, see, if you are left with C programming or like whatever subjects you find easy, leave them for the last, because then you will, you can start with the mock test in November, and those two subjects, because you have some understanding of it and you find that they are sort of easier, you can still, attempt the full length mock test as well as then complete the lectures for those two. So pick the 8 subjects that are completely new for you and finish it by October. And now your mindset should be like, say you have to do COA and DBMS in the month of July, then the number of hours, how many number of hours you have to give, like no such question should matter, because you know that these two subjects I have to complete anyhow in this month. So whatever time it takes, you have to give. So that should be the ideal way of preparing. Definitely that will be hard, because you're giving time at work also, and after coming back, instead of taking a rest, you will be studying. But I mean, that's the only way you will have to do that. Okay. If you have any follow up question, you could ask. But overall, I think I told you. Okay. Also, Shubham, you asked me, right? So it's important to complete syllabus by October, because the next 3 months, you will be solving the mock test and the test series, which is very important, I would say. And along with it, you would be focusing on the revision. So that's why it's important that you complete all the subjects along with PYQs by October. So, and two subjects a month is possible for sure. It's not very difficult. Okay, if you I try to should I try to switch into another company after that start preparing? I would say that it could get a bit late, I would say, because from now every day matters, and I know that it's not that easy also. So if you will try to switch, like most probably I'm guessing at least you'll have to, apply to companies or talk to people. Even if you can seek a referral, you will have to engage in that. So if you think that it's a matter of few days and it's possible for you, then for sure do that. But if it's, you don't have any such contacts and you have to start the application process from scratch, then that's again time consuming, and every day right now matters a lot. So again, it depends on that thing, like as I said, that if you have a referral or a friend who could refer you instantly, who knows that you are skilled and everything, and it will take hardly a few days or a week time, then that's different. But yes, if you are doing it on your own and the process is going to take time and you'll have to give interviews, then that will be a lot. So um as I said, in short, basically every day matters right now, because you don't have a lot of time. Okay. Just a second. I'm going through the questions in chat. Okay, one question is how to balance both placement and grade preparation. And for this, I would say that you can't balance both placement and preparation. You can do only one at a time. According to me, definitely you can't do both, because both demand very different skills. For placements, I would say the interviews are very tough. Not tough, but it's now you can't just fool around and go with basic skills. I would say to get a job you need to be really skilled at something, and you need to have projects to show that, or you should have good coding profiles, and it's very hard in that sense also. You have to be really good at those skills, and those skills are very like extremely different than the skills or the knowledge you need for gate preparation. So you can't do both unless and until you want a placement in a PSU, then that overlaps with gate. So if you want to apply for BARC, ISRO, or any like other PSUs you're targeting placement in that, then it completely 100% overlaps with gate preparation. But other than that you can't do, like, mostly there are extraordinary cases of course, but mostly you can't do both. And the correct time to solve test series is when you complete about 60, like six, if you have completed the six core subjects, about 60 to 70%, then you can, I would say 60% only, it's fine, along with PYQs. Then you can take the test series and you could start solving the subject wise and topic wise test of the subjects that you have already completed. And once you complete 80 to 90% of the syllabus, then you start giving full length mock test. Okay, so the questions is, you have started your preparation from June until now you've completed sets, so like topics of discrete mathematics and linear algebra, and just a second, combinatorics, digital logic, TOC, compact course. I'm confused that should I choose compact course rather than going through full course, especially for these sub TOC, OS, DBMS to complete syllabus, so that I have time to for revision, practice, and test series. Yeah, definitely you should be going for the compact course. There is nothing that you are going to miss out. So for sure, for whatever subjects the compact course is available, then you go through that. Uh, you should not be worrying about it. For sure, go with the compact course. Okay. Second, ideal time to complete subject syllabus and start test series. So ideal time to complete syllabus as in all the modules, along with at least, like, come say come at least two times revision of the entire long notes, like whether you have made the notes or annotated notes, every single one of those, like the full long notes, at least two times you need to revise that. Then you have completed all the subjects and the PYQs, each and every PYQ for all the subjects. All of this should be done by October ideally, and then you start with the like the full length test series in, see, some subtopics or one subject could be left, so that you could start with in November along with the test series. Now if you are already done with half of your subject now, then you can take the test series and start solving the topic wise and subject wise test of the subjects that you have completed along with PYQs, because PYQs are your foundation. If you have, like, if you have done 4 to 5 subjects and you have completed PYQs for those, now you revise the long notes, and after revision, just to test your knowledge and add more to it, you start giving the subject wise and topic wise test. So now you will be revising, you could take a subject, revise a topic of it, and give the topic wise test. And when all of the topic wise tests are done, you could give the subject wise test. So that's how you can go about it. But if you have not completed half of your syllabus by now and you have just started, then your time would shift to November. Then you take this test series. But then what will happen is that you will get less time to solve these topic wise and subject wise tests, because you will be solving the full length mock test. So, but if you have done, like, when you have done half of your subject along with PYQ, that's the right time to give these topic wise and subject wise test. And once 80 to 90% of your syllabus is done, then you can go ahead and give the full length mock test. Okay. So Yash, would you like to, like, ask your question, or I should read it in the chat? Okay. Meanwhile, should I try to increase the pace, like 3 subjects a month, as I will be choosing compact course? Yes, of course, you should be, taking the max. Okay, Yash, I'll read your question. Okay. Yes, Kalyan, definitely. You know what? If you are preparing full time for GATE and you have the entire day to yourself, then for sure you should be targeting 3 subjects a month. 2 subjects is just like minimum, because now seeing the number of months and the number of subjects. That way I said two subjects. But yes, for sure, as many as you can do. But that being said, you need to, like, of course, watch that also with focus, right? You if Because if you just watch it for the sake of watching it, then you will have a lot of trouble later on, like in the last 3 months, and that would be unfixable sort of. Because if your very basic foundation, that is watching lectures, if you have just rushed through that and not understood things, then that will I mean, I don't think you will be able to fix it later on. So for now, if you are watching the lectures properly, and with that you can complete three subjects in a month, then for sure you should be doing that. But make sure, if you have done, any subject you have done till now, make sure that you take out at least 1 hour in a day. You can fix that 1 hour, and that 1 hour you give to solving questions of the subjects that you have already done. Okay, all right. Yes, your question. You are 26, electrical engineering graduate. You have decided to take a drop this year and prepare for GATE CS, and you just started preparing, and you're studying discrete and C programming. Is this the right approach to begin with, or would you recommend a different order of subjects? I also wanted to thank you for earlier sessions. Yeah, you suggested using annotated notes instead of extensive notes, and you've started following that. And you've stopped using mobile with while studying, and now you spend your study time in library, which has really improved your focus. Okay. All right. So firstly, one thing that comes in my mind, that if you have stopped using phone like while studying, I would suggest that you should even stop using your phone, like apart from, like, even if you're not studying, you can spend time with your friends in person for whatever half an hour you have, or you could even go to the gym, or you could just take a nap. But I would say, even when you're not studying, like even in your timetable, if 4 to 5 there is no studying involved, I would suggest not to use your phone in that time also, because eventually that will add to your focus as well. And see, if you've started with C programming and discrete maths, right? Now, see, mathematics is a very huge subject. So if you try to finish entire discrete maths at a time, it will take, like, I would say a month or something. Or if you, like, entire maths, if you do 1 or 1.5 month, it will take. And then after that, you could feel pressured that, I gave so much time, and now I've just completed one subject, that is maths. So, like, according to my calculation, if I take, there are 10 subjects, if I take maths as a single subject, okay. So if you have started discrete mathematics, right, you must have started with a topic, be it set, or whatever topic you have started, complete that topic. Do C programming parallelly. But once you have completed that topic of discrete maths, I would suggest you to start a core CS topic as well, right? So uh, yes, so discrete is because maths is long. Usually what it's important for sure, that's why you can't leave it for the end also. You can't think I'll do, because I can give this to you like for sure, that if you're leaving maths for the last, then you will end up leaving it, and it's a very important subject. So the strategy for doing maths is that you do it topic wise. So you do maybe whatever topic, say you have picked up sets in discrete, then you complete sets. Then you do a subject of computer science, right? Like any core subject, I mean. So after that you pick another topic. You could do calculus maybe. Then after a few weeks, you could do linear algebra. So that way, put these topics in between other subjects. Don't start maths, that I'll complete discrete maths and then I'll start something else. Don't I would suggest not going about this approach, because it will take a lot of time. And like, in terms of a like mental understanding way, that's a strategy, that you do it topic wise in between subjects. So as I said, you do C programming, whatever topic you've picked up in discrete, finish it up, and then you start with a core theoretical subject. Now that could be, see, if you pick up DSA along with C, then it's sort of similar, right? It's based on programming. So ideally, you take up two subjects at a time, and try to make it different. So if you're bored with, you don't get bored, basically. That's the point. And again, as I said, Yash, what you could do is, because you have just started. It's a good thing that you have taken, like if you have taken a drop and you have the whole day to yourself, that would be a very big advantage, okay? Because I prepared with 7 months along with a job. So if you have almost the same amount of time with like full day to yourself, you could like make really good use of this time. But I would tell you the routine. See, you have to complete the syllabus by October, right? So according to that logic, leave maths. Like, maths you are going to be doing topic wise in between. So if anything is left by October, then that is okay. Apart from maths, there are 9 subjects. You have to complete this by October. So in a month you'll have to do approx 2 subjects, so you have to complete anyhow. So you have to sit day and night and study, because you have just started preparing. There are going to be no question you will be solving right now, in the sense that if you're doing C and maybe you start with digital logic, okay? These two you're doing, so you will just have to watch lectures day and night. So in these 20 days in July, you have to complete 2 subjects, okay? And now in August you take 2 new subjects. Maybe you took DSA and operating system. So from now on in your day, you have to set at least 1 hour, or 1.5 hours maybe. If you watch all your lectures by 10 p.m., you feel sleepy, then from 10:30 to at least 11:30, or if you feel energetic after that, then even beyond that. So make a fixed slot when you will be solving questions of the subject that you have done before. So in August you do you watch lectures all the time, and in that fixed slot of question solving, you do PYQs of digital logic and C programming, which you have completed in July. And if you're not able to solve PYQs, then you should not be going to the solution for every question in when you're solving PYQs. So if you feel that you're not able to solve most of the question, then that means that you don't remember the concepts. So initially, if maybe 8 to 10 p.m. is your slot for solving PYQs, then initially in those 2 hours you revise. So you revised for the first 3 days, you revise your entire C programming. Then from the fourth day in that slot, you solve the PYQ. So basically, you'll have to solve questions every day from August onwards, because you need to get in the habit of problem solving as well. Just watching the lectures is not enough. Also, right now you're just starting, you don't have much to revise, but from August onwards you will have to revise every day, right? So because annotated notes are also a lot. And as I said, if you whatever you're studying right now, just go through the annotated notes right after the lecture. It will take only 10 minutes, I would say, but that will save you a lot of time later on, because the notes feel very messy if you don't look it right away. All right, so that should be your strategy basically. Just let me read your question again. Okay, and approach I could tell you, as I said, complete the topic of discrete maths and then pick another subject, because discrete is very long, right? So, in terms of subjects, see, operating system you could start, or if you are from electrical background, you could, वैसे तो it doesn't matter, you have to complete all 10 subjects. So you could do operating system directly, you could do database directly, you can do computer networks as well. And all these subjects, it's started from the very scratch, so you don't need to have those many prerequisites, right? You will still be understanding everything. So if there is any sequence, you could do, first you do C programming, then you go to DSA, then first you do TOC, then compiler design, and then after doing digital logic, then you go to COA, right? So these are the like the three, I would say, um, sequence that you could follow. But other than that, you could do it in any sequence, right? Just make sure that before compiler you have finished TOC, and before COA you have completed digital logic, and before DSA you have completed C programming. Apart from that, go in any order. And if you're doing C programming, I would say that you can take a lengthier subject, like maybe you can take computer network. You can do that along with C programming, right? After finishing the discrete maths topic, of course, which you have just started. So propositional logic you have done, right? So see, I'll tell you another thing, Yash. What happens is that these topics, right? If there are say 25 lectures for sets, for propositional logic also there are whatever playlist is there, and you watch it, because when you just start your preparation and you take up these topics, then you give, you watch the lecture normally, you try to understand it slowly, slowly you're processing. And but you don't realize that there are subjects that will take a lot more energy than these topics. So now you're watching aram se, but later you'll have to really rush. So right now you do the topics which are lengthier and tougher, so later on you will be in that flow, right? So if you're doing all these coa and a computer network operating system, if you have done these subjects, then later on c programming, propositional logic, set theory, these things will feel very easier to you. And then you won't be wasting time on these lectures. So maybe ideally proposition logic should take you 2 days, but if you just start with it, you can give 4 to 5 days to it. I'm just using like random numbers, I don't exactly remember how much time each subject takes. But if it's a topic of 2 days, if you just start with it, then you can give 4 to 5 days, so you're giving double time to it. So start with the tougher subjects, so that in easier or subjects you won't be wasting your time, right? So as I said, I would say instead of going on other topics of discrete maths, you take up computer network, I would suggest, or operating system. You can take any of these. And advice would be that you make sure you revise very, very frequently. So if you've completed computer network, make sure that you revise in every, like whenever you get a thought that okay, now I'm forgetting computer network, just open the notes and go through it. So by october end you should have completed all 10 subjects, along with all PYQs and all 2 times revision of long notes at least, right? Okay, Yash. Right. And again, as I said, that make sure you study, a lot more, because you've just started. I don't want you to just say that, I won't say that there's a lot of time, study very slowly at your own pace. You would have to give a lot of time. I know, as you said, you're still in library, you're giving that time, but so you're going in the right direction. Just make sure that you don't, break this focus, because as you will keep studying the subjects, you will feel that you're forgetting what you studied earlier. Then you will be feeling that okay, you are not able to solve a lot of pyqs also. And then when you move to test series, those questions are even harder, and they are purposely designed that way, so you learn a lot from that. But you need time to solve those tough questions of test series also. Yes, those are very, very important. But to do that, it's not like test series questions are very important, so you straight up jump to test series questions. Those are very important, but you can do that only when you've completed all the modules properly along with pyqs. So that's why it's important that you complete your syllabus with revision and pyqs by october. So I know it will be tough for you to give that much time, but try to give as much time to studying as possible, because I would say you have sufficient time. You have the whole day to yourself. Just study all the time. Your routine should be basically studying the entire time. And if you feel like you are getting bored or you are exhausted or feeling burnt out, then you spend time with your family, friends, whatever, but that should be in person, I would say. Eliminating screen is the best thing we can do when we are students, right? Even I try to practice this now that I will be going to for MTech, and I have subjects to study. My first, I did take a month break, I would say, going here and there. And it was my last working month at office also. So there was a break definitely, but now that I'm restarting my study routine, my first thing is that I need to eliminate my phone completely. So as you said that you're already doing that, so it's great. Just maintain the consistency. Okay, so the last question is of Kuldeep in chat, that uh, you have done only C programming completely. Just a second, I'll read your message first, Kuldeep. ओके, सो आपने अभी सिर्फ सी प्रोग्रामिंग किया है, एंड आपका क्वेश्चन है कि अब आप सिर्फ अ, बाकी के सब्जेक्ट का मॉड्यूल्स करो, या फिर इसका रिवीजन और पीवाईक्यू भी करो। तो अब आपने सी प्रोग्रामिंग कर लिया, देखो कुलदीप, जितना टाइम बचा है उसके हिसाब से मैं सजेस्ट करूंगी कि आप अब 2 सब्जेक्ट्स तो लेके चलो। सी प्रोग्रामिंग हो गया, तो आप मे बी आप लीनियर अलजेब्रा ले सकते हो, क्योंकि आपको मैथ्स के एंड टू यश ऑल्सो आप अभी कोई कोर सब्जेक्ट करोगे, सेट जैसे आपने प्रोपोजिशनल लॉजिक कर लिया, बट बचे हुए डिस्क्रीट मैथ्स के टॉपिक्स भी आपको करने हैं, राइट? माय पॉइंट इज कि आप बीच बीच में लेके करो, ऐसा नहीं कि पूरा डिस्क्रीट मैथ्स एक साथ करना है, बट आपको ये याद रखना है कि डिस्क्रीट मैथ्स पूरा लास्ट के लिए भी नहीं बचना चाहिए, वो आपको टॉपिक वाइज बीच में करते रहना है। सो कुलदीप, फॉर यू ऑल्सो, आपने सी प्रोग्रामिंग कर लिया, अब आप या तो कोई मैथ्स का एक सब्जेक्ट उठा लो या फिर कोई दो दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स ले लो अपने हिसाब से, कोई दो सब्जेक्ट्स लो, उसके साथ आप दिन में, क्योंकि आपने सिर्फ सी प्रोग्रामिंग किया है अभी, तो ऐसा भी अगर आपको अभी बाकी के दो सब्जेक्ट करने में एक महीना, लाइक अभी जुलाई के 20 दिन में आप दो सब्जेक्ट कंप्लीट कर रहे हो, ठीक है, मे बी आप डिजिटल लॉजिक कर रहे हो और उसके साथ आप डीबीएमएस कर रहे हो, तो ये दो सब्जेक्ट्स आप जुलाई में कर रहे हो, तो अब ये 20 दिन का टाइम इनफ है सी सी के क्वेश्चंस करने के लिए। तो आप दिन में 1 घंटा भी दोगे तो इतना टाइम भी इनफ है, ओके? ओके, जस्ट अ सेकेंड। सो कुलदीप, अभी आपने सी किया है, आप अभी के लिए सिर्फ दिन का 1 ही घंटा दो। आप अपने हिसाब से, आप मे बी रात के 12 से 1 AM का टाइम आप रख लो कि आपको पीवाईक्यू करना है सी प्रोग्रामिंग, क्या जब भी अपने हिसाब से, तो बाकी टाइम आपने जो दो सब्जेक्ट्स लिए हैं, डिजिटल लॉजिक और डीबीएमएस, आप इन दोनों के मॉड्यूल्स देखोगे, क्योंकि देखो अभी आपका ऑलमोस्ट सारा सिलेबस पेंडिंग है, तो ऑफ कोर्स अभी आप मेजोरिटी ऑफ अपना टाइम आप मॉड्यूल्स को ही दोगे, बचा हुआ टाइम आप क्वेश्चंस को दोगे, 1 घंटा इनफ है, आई वुड से 1 घंटा बहुत है, राइट? तो जस्ट अ सेकेंड, आपने अभी डीएसए और डिजिटल लॉजिक चूज करने वाले हो, ओके? तो डीएसए एंड डिजिटल लॉजिक इज आल्सो फाइन, यस, बट आई वुड से दैट, मतलब ठीक है, इट्स अप टू यू, आप अपने हिसाब से पिक कर लो, बट जैसे डीएसए भी सॉर्ट ऑफ फन सब्जेक्ट, लाइक मुझे अपने हिसाब से बताऊं तो मुझे डीएसए फन लगता था, और डिजिटल लॉजिक भी कंपैरेटिवली छोटा ही है, राइट? तो आप एक टफ सब्जेक्ट भी ले सकते हो, आई वुड से कि मे बी क्योंकि अभी ओएस, सीओए, कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क, ये सब है लेंदियर, ये तीन सब्जेक्ट स्पेशली। सो डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स मुझे पर्सनली थोड़ा इजियर साइड पे ही लगता है, डिजिटल लॉजिक भी छोटा है कंपेरेटिवली, तो दो काइंड ऑफ इजियर, और इजियर इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंपेयर टू अदर सब्जेक्ट्स, तो दो आप थोड़े ऐसे इजी और फन सब्जेक्ट, तो इससे अच्छा आप दोनों में से एक पिक कर लो, और एक आप ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम या फिर कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क ऐसा कुछ पिक कर लो, ये मेरा सजेशन रहेगा, बट ऑफ कोर्स डिपेंडिंग ऑन कि आपको चीजें कौन सा सब्जेक्ट टफ और मुश्किल लगता है। एक आप जो आपको बहुत मुश्किल लगता है ना सब्जेक्ट, जो आपको जिससे सबसे ज्यादा डर लग रहा है, तो मेरा ये सजेशन होगा कि आप वो सब्जेक्ट उठा के स्टार्ट कर दो, क्योंकि जितना टाइम बचा है, अगर आपको सिलेबस तो सारा करना है, तो मेरा सजेशन होगा कि जो सब्जेक्ट आपको सबसे लेंदी और टफ लगता है, आप एक वो ले लो, और एक फिर कोई डीएसए और डिजिटल लॉजिक में से ले सकते हो, राइट? वो आपके ऊपर है, अगेन दैट्स जस्ट अ सजेशन। तो आप ये दो सब्जेक्ट्स पिक करो, और ये आपको दो सब्जेक्ट्स कैसे भी जुलाई में कंप्लीट करना है, कैसे भी इन द सेंस कि समझ के करना है, बट जितना भी टाइम लगे, अगर दिन में आपको 12 घंटे देने पड़े तो आपको देने पड़ेंगे, क्योंकि आपको दो सब्जेक्ट्स करने ही है कंप्लीट जुलाई में। इसके साथ मॉड्यूल्स देखो, बट अगेन आप दिन का 1 घंटा भी रखोगे क्वेश्चन पीवाईक्यू करने के लिए तो इनफ है, क्योंकि अभी आपको सिर्फ सी प्रोग्रामिंग के पीवाईक्यूज करने हैं, आप 20 दिन में दो नए सब्जेक्ट कर रहे हो, अगर आप 20 दिन में एक डेली 1 घंटा भी दे रहे हो पीवाईक्यू के लिए, तो आपके तब तक सी प्रोग्रामिंग के पीवाईक्यूज हो जाएंगे। फिर जब आप अगस्त में नए दो सब्जेक्ट्स पिक करोगे, तब आपको आप 1 घंटे की जगह आप 1.5 घंटे या 2 घंटे का टाइम दे देना पीवाईक्यू, अभी आप सिर्फ 8 से 9 कर रहे हो तो 8 से 10 का टाइम दे देना, और इसके बीच में आप अभी जो दो सब्जेक्ट्स कर रहे हो उसके पीवाईक्यू करना। सो टू समराइज इट फॉर यू, अभी के लिए आप दो सब्जेक्ट्स करो, और उसके बाद इसके साथ में आप सी प्रोग्रामिंग के पीवाईक्यूज करो, और दिन में डेली 45 मिनट्स टू 1 आवर दो, दैट वुड बी इनफ, क्योंकि अभी आपका 90% सिलेबस पेंडिंग है, तो आपको मैक्सिमम टाइम या ऑलमोस्ट अपना सारा टाइम देना है लेक्चर्स की तरफ, बट ऑफ कोर्स आप अभी सी प्रोग्रामिंग के पीवाईक्यूज नहीं करोगे तो वो बैकलॉग बन जाएगा, राइट? तो वो भी करना है, बट अभी के लिए दिन का 1 घंटा इनफ होगा पीवाईक्यूज के लिए। और पीवाईक्यूज का एक्सेस आप गेट ओवरफ्लो की वेबसाइट पे आपको मिल जाएंगे, पीवाईक्यूज आप सर्च कर लेना, पीवाईक्यूज गेट सीएस पीवाईक्यूज, तो आपको गेट ओवरफ्लो की बुक मिल जाएगी, पीडीएफ, आप उसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हो। ओके, सो I think, okay, so the last question again, Shubham, I'll take that. व्हाट शुड बी माय अप्रोच फॉर द नोट्स, ओके? तो क्योंकि आप जॉब के साथ कर रहे हो, तो इट्स लाइक फॉर श्योर अभी जितना टाइम बचा उसके हिसाब से भी आपको नोट्स बनाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। आप एनोटेटेड नोट्स रेफर करो। आप जैसे ही मॉड्यूल आपका खत्म हो रहा है, एंड अगेन अगर किसी भी सब्जेक्ट का कॉम्पैक्ट कोर्स है तो आप कॉम्पैक्ट कोर्स ही रेफर करना, ठीक है। अगर कोई कॉम्पैक्ट कोर्स है देन उसका फुल वाला मत देखना, योर प्रायोरिटी इसकी आप सिलेबस कंप्लीट करो। आप अब कॉम्पैक्ट कोर्स से भी करो तो इट्स एज गुड एज कंप्लीटिंग इट फ्रॉम द मेन सब्जेक्ट। एंड नाउ फॉर the notes part, you should either refer to the topper notes. Like if I talk about myself, I don't understand others handwriting, so I refer the annotated notes, because annotated notes say, you know, you have studied from that slide. Now annotated notes look longer because they're of about 100 to 200 slides, but that's not a like PDF, right? That's PPT. So it's almost like PPT is, it's not that hard, like 100 200 pages, it just looks like a lot, but it's not that long. Now the strategy for that should be like, if you just study a lecture, right? So sir is teaching on that PPT, so right after you're done with the lecture, it will take you 5 minutes just from page 1 to the last page of that PPT, go through it. Like usually this content is like lecture 1 and then the annotated notes of lecture 1. So as soon as you watch the lecture, go to the annotated notes and read it, not read it, but just like go through it, because you have just seen the lecture. It will take you hardly 10 minutes to do that, and it will help you. Because see, annotated notes are really good to revise, but if in case you're just watching the lectures and at the very same time you don't look at those notes, then later on when you will be revising that subject, then you will find those notes very messy. So it's such a it won't take that much time also, but it will make a huge difference. If you are watching a lecture, just read the annotated notes there itself. It will take you 5 minutes. And for me, whatever, so for each of the 10 subjects I had a folder, like for make a folder, computer network, and then you from the annotated notes of lecture 1 to the last lecture, download everything in that folder, keep it there. So now when you will be revising the annotated there's another question about notes in English, so I'm explaining. I hope that would answer your question as well. So you have folders for all 10 subjects. So in computer network, from annotated notes of lecture 1 to the last next lecture, download all notes over there, right? And again, as soon as you're done with the lecture, just go through the notes of that lecture, annotated notes there only. Now when you're revising later on, when you will, when you're done with the subject and then you're solving PYQs, so then when you find, if you're forgetting a particular topic, or you need to revise with either topic wise or subject wise, you open all the PDFs of computer network at once. If you have, if you want to revise computer network, there are 50, there were 50 modules and 50 annotated note PDFs. Then you open all 50 of them together, and your target should be to complete the revision of the entire 50 slides in one day. So when, if you're revising for the first time, it will take you 2 to 3 days, right? Now don't give your entire day to just revising it. Section it, like one section you watch the modules of the remaining subject, in one section you watch the PYQs, in the rest of the time you revise the notes. So it will take you about 2 to 3 days in such partitioning of your days, right? And as soon as you're revising a PDF, just cut that slide, and that way when all the tabs will be closed, that means you're done with revising computer network. So again, for me, that was almost like, it mentally, it used to ease me that, okay, I've just done this PDF and now one tab is closed. So I used to see that I need to close all the tabs and my computer network revision would be done. So this way you have to do it, and it won't make any such difference if you're making your own notes or whether you're referring to annotated notes. It's not a difference. It's better if you go through the PPTs itself, I would say, because you're saving time in which you will be watching, solving PYQs and test series. So you should refer annotated notes, and if you understand the handwriting, then you can go ahead with topper notes as well, the PDF which is available. So you can decide whatever works for you. Okay, Kuldeep, about the PYQ access. See, I don't think, I'm not sure if I'll be able to download the like link or open that link right now because I'm on my office laptop. But uh you just search, gate. I don't know if I'll get it. On Gate Overflow, you should be getting it. Like just look at Gate Overflow CS PYQs. One you will find for maths and one you will find for the rest of the subjects. Okay, just a second. See, I'm not logged in into the website, and since I am on my office laptop, it will take me time, I guess. There are a lot of restrictions here, but you will find it, right? Are others finding it? Like Shubham or Yash, if anyone has accessed, can you see? Because I downloaded it too. I remember last year. I'm not sure if this is the link, but you could check this one. Okay. If not, then just edit it or find. I think these are like year wise PYQs. There is a book also which has subject wise PYQs. You should be finding it. Okay. I think you you will find that. There's a link here also for the gate overflow book. There is a book for PYQs, or you can search, like, you will find it online, but if you want a hard copy, you could get that also. I mean, I think you'll just have to search for it. Is this link working? Did you find the PYQs here? See, there is, I think this link should be working. There is volume one, two, three. The PYQs are here, right? So just look on Gate Overflow, right? Not the Go classes, like not that website where you have the modules. On Gate Overflow, you look at it. I think this link is also correct, the one I sent. There are PDFs over here. So I hope you find that, Kuldeep, now. Okay. All right, everyone. So thank you for joining the session, and I hope you all, get got clarity on your questions, and then now we all can, go back to studying with more clarity and motivation. So, best of luck and good night.